At the top, we had Strange Overtones by Brian Eno and David Byrne, a bit of a heavyweight combination. David Byrne of Talking Heads and Brian Eno of Roxy Music and a couple of other bands. It's a really special song to me. From the album Everything That Happens Will Happen Today, released in 2008. And the last track was Someone Great by LCD Sound System off their 2007 release, their sophomore album, Sound of Silver. Off air, Gov, you were talking about the actual... one of the real stories between you and TB we kind of missed before. Do you want to share?
Yeah, we got deep. We got deep in the philosophy of footy there. We got carried away. We probably didn't answer the question about how we actually met. But I'll go straight to it. My thing is, my memory is we're down south for a weekend or whatever we do with the boys, quickly get away and...
It was by weekend, I think you're talking about.
Yeah, by weekend.
It is by week or 4-day break.
Whatever, 4-day break. And we'll stay at my host family's house. They had a hollow house down there. I was fortunate enough to invite the boys down. That was my time to do my thing of giving back a little bit, and I throw it in. And you come down as not a byproduct, but it was like, mate, invite Tommy Barrass down. And it was like, yeah, for sure. And then you were having one of your all-time weekends, and I just remember how funny you were to Josh Kennedy, and this was probably your Josh Kennedy moment, and Loz, love it, legend, but I remember you were getting deep with Loz on telling her how beautiful she was, and right in front of Josh Kennedy, might I add.
How old were you, Tom?
I would have been 19, 20.
Yeah, young.
Yeah, and let's not understate it. I fell in love that day.
Yeah, mate.
I did.
For the first time.
You did. There was marriage was thrown around.
Yeah.
By Tom Barrass and the funniest of which I love the most is her partner Josh Kennedy was sitting right there, and he's just looking at everyone like, "Is this bloke okay? Is he all right?" Asking this. He's like sort of palming JK off, the great JK of like 18-year-old kids coming like, "JK, mate, just quiet.
I'm
going to ask your partner to marry me."
Yeah, I just wanted her to know that I thought she was beautiful, and that if her relationship with Josh didn't work out, that I wanted to put my hand up to be a candidate to marry her and be her guy, to treat her to a good life. And like we were talking about, like you said, we were on a fantastic weekend. And it's kind of just became a joke, and so it became a running joke for years. And Kenneth was a bit puzzled at first, and I think he started to understand that
he got it. He knew you were no chance whatsoever. So he was
not
he
in
was
the way
sweet.
I was anyway. That's for sure.
and your Alga Street, Scarborough old school Alga Street parties. I got invited to one of the illustrious parties that was rumoured around the streets how good they were, and I remember rocking up and everyone said, "Man, wait until you get into the sticky floors." And I just still remember walking in, and it was the stickiest floors you've ever had under your shoe.
This is a share house, not a club.
No, this is his house. This is
my home I bought. Yeah, it was a villa. It was a villa in Scarborough.
It was a villa, and it was like...
We used to take the furniture out of it, all the furniture out, and we had a beautiful alfresco area, long table, and, chairs... like a spa.
Yeah.
Oh, it was perfect. So it was like only 80 square meters inside, but maybe 220 blocks. So the whole thing was out.
You felt like you're on hectares there, man. It was that good. And going in, getting the induction, like TB had this this is the small things I reckon where you bond on. It's like had this huge old wooden table, and not the rules, but it was like part of what's going on is you. When you're here and you've come for one of the parties, you write your name on the table. And there was try to find a spot. There was so many names on the table, you're trying to find a spot and write your name. And I was like, man, this is cool. I like this guy. And the best was he had all these boys there. Met Das. Used to all your crew, McCracken, all those lads were all there, arm in arm, just having a good time. I was like, yeah, all right, this guy... we're cut from the same cloth, sort of thing. It was cool. So I reckon that's where we initially started the initial bond, and then from that, playing a lot of footy together, obviously ties that in perfectly. And
what we mentioned before, honestly, is probably that deeper intellectual connection and talking about what precedes ideas. Oh, I think this is a good idea. What, how about, this economic thing, Starlink's coming in. What do you think we should, all this discussion around business, philosophy, ideologies, value system, economics, what's going to happen in the world, all these things we would just rabbit hole on and have such a deep connection with. But it was certainly the fun of the West Coast culture, and then probably both being West Australians and having quite a similar context, maybe in our music, maybe in everything, that Gov would be a man I'd throw the text out to, like, mate, Alga Street's happening, come through, and we'd all go there, put our names down and have a fat time. It was some of the best days ever. Should we go there?
Is there or should we go there musically?
Yeah,
I would love for you to take me there on a couple of tracks right now.
Yeah, I'd like a couple right now. Do you think that's appropriate, or do you want to have your question?
My question can wait. Let's go to 2 tracks from what was the street name?
Alga Street.
There we go.
12 to 14.
You know you've been there.
Yeah, you know you've been there.
There's someone there that you know.
Yeah, and also want to apologise to my neighbour Helen.
Poor Helen. She was a good sport.
She was a great sport, and she was probably mistreated, and it was ignorant of me as a young man to, not think that playing the game or totally enormous extinct dinosaurs full tilt at 3 a.m. was acceptable in a villa in Scarborough, bunch of 8. So, and also shout out to Thomas. So I'll take you back to Alga Street. Here it is.